Hey guys, warm welcome to you. All right, so I've got my friend here, Yikmen. Good morning, actually. It's reasonably mid-morning for us here. And we're going to do another little chat with this guy. He is a day trader of stocks. I'm not going to kind of ruin this and spoil it for you, but he's a day trader of stocks. We're going to find out his method, his strategy, what he thinks about things. And the idea is that you can take away one or two little bits and implement it into your own trading, and that's a win. So without further ado, let's get going. Welcome. So Yikmen, you are a trader. How long have you been trading?
So the funny story behind this, Mark, is I properly started when I was about 14, 15 in school. I think that's my very first trade when I was in school. So that was just like my own little investment club at school. We had, I think, one of the parents' dads or something was like a broker or something.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So we got just cheaper transactions or something like that.
Yeah.
And like 4 or 5 of us, and we all pulled in looking through newspaper articles and all this and trying to find, what should we put our money on. And I remember seeing somewhere just this newspaper, little bit, cutting it out, bringing it to everyone in school, saying, this new streaming technology, and it was Netflix at the time. Yeah. And so we all, it seems like quite a revolutionary thing. Put it on Netflix and made a little bit of money through that in the academic year. So properly speaking, the funny story is, I put my first trade on when I was like in school or something, and that might have been instigated.
And that was it then, the fire was lit.
Yeah, then I was screwed, I was in it for
You wonder what happened if you lost money in that first trade. Would that have changed you completely and put you off? It's always interesting when you hear stories of people's first trade.
Yeah.
Because mine was a winner as well. Maybe if you had to lose the first one, you'd have been, this stock market's rubbish, I'm out of it. Who knows?
Yeah, that might have been, what led me down that path, I don't know.
So that was school, so obviously you didn't start trading full time at school. So how did you kind of get into it properly, so to speak?
Properly speaking, I think, so I studied maths and economics at uni, and I've always been quite business-minded or whatever. So I think at the end of my first year or something at uni, when I was about 18, 19-ish, I picked up like a few books or something. I mean, it's kind of implied or there about seeing the course structure or whatever. So I started looking into it, and then I first started getting traded in stocks. Saw all the kind of BS marketing online, make £10,000 in 20 minutes on the beach or some crap like that.
Sipping a daiquiri,
yeah. So that's what caught my attention, obviously, as a naive.
Right, so that actually got you then. You're one of the guys who got hooked by the fish,
I was one of them guys, but so I started around then. Obviously, as everyone does, when you see that stuff and you no idea what you're doing, I lost a little bit when I was around 18, 19. But that's really what started getting me going and got me interested in things. Because obviously through uni, it's like you're thinking, what do you want to do for a career or what you're interested in. And I was always like quite entrepreneurial minded. And when I realised, with the kind of maths background, this stuff moves a few percentages a day, and then you see like top gainers, top losers on like Yahoo Finance or whatever, and you're thinking,
your eyes like ding,
ding, statistics, probability, and then just you calculate in your head, and then that's when you start like crunching numbers in Excel, blah blah blah, and so I probably started around 18, 19. Traded through uni. I've probably been more active properly for the last about 2-3 years, actively trading stocks.
Nice, I'm interested. So here's a question, we'll digress slightly here. Do you think your economics degree or maths and economics degree helps in any way in trading?
That's an interesting question, Mark. I will try to give a very PC answer down the middle. I think it's interesting to say, someone who would go down that route maybe already has that mindset of, finance or business or whatever, and that might lead you on to trading, and definitely some parts of it help in terms of, you know, you might learn a few things in the course structure, or that might also, obviously in a university environment, put you around people who are like-minded, you know, thinking that kind of same thing.
Yeah, that's the point, yeah.
But directly speaking, no. That's a
quick answer, isn't it?
No, that's a short answer.
That's exactly what I thought you'd say, actually. I thought you'd say, well, it's an interest because there is theory about stuff, and assuming in economics you learn things about jobs, numbers, interest rates. You've got a feel for what the theory is, but ultimately it's nothing like that when you're in trading. It's a mind game really, as opposed to theory, right?
And I can't slack off on my degree too much because someone's watching out there, right? I can't. I still want to be invited, I guess, to alumni events and all that. So,
sure you want. Yeah. Okay, so. Right, so let's pick the story up. You started trading. Interestingly, you went into stocks. How come you went into? So most people, I actually went to stocks, interestingly as well. But most people go to forex because that's the loudest thing online, generally speaking. So what made you go to stocks? And you're still in stocks now, aren't you? So what made you kind of move towards trading stocks as opposed to maybe forex?
I think, you know, that funny story aside, at the start might have actually, you know, led a little bit into trading stocks, just because, you know, my first experience of what was, you know, financial markets or trading or investment might have been, you know, that first experience. So that might have actually helped a little bit. And when I got started, it was like, you know, you see that kind of like online advertising type thing. But I'd always just been interested in businesses, whatever.
Right.
And, you know, my family upbringing with being, you know, business minded and everything. So it always came naturally to me, like to think in terms of business or companies or whatever. And that was just more my natural, I don't know, what I was comfortable with. And to be honest, I never really thought about or really got interested in getting involved with currencies or whatever. It was always in the back of my head, like there somewhere. But once I started, you know, working through, you know, like stock fundamentals and understanding things about companies and everything, it's just...
You found your groove.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that, actually. I think as well, once you're in your own little bubble of trading the instrument you trade, you tend not to be too concerned with other stuff unless you get to a point where you're like, well, it's not working or whatever. So if while it's working for you, there's no reason to switch. You're like, well, it's working. Let me just focus on what's working and try and get better at it.
Especially if you're starting out as well. I mean, that's so important to actually, you know, stick to one kind of groove and try and master that and understand what really makes it work, how it moves, that kind of thing. If you jump in from, you know, stocks to indices, the forex, the Bitcoin nowadays, you know, it's hard to give that full attention.
Yeah, do you know what, guys? That's a lesson actually here from everybody of any level of experience, even someone who's been trading, you know, a short period of time, up to someone who's been trading 40 years. They say, listen, stick to something and make it work, and only shift later when you're really exhausted. Like, listen, it's not working for me. Maybe you're trading stocks and then maybe your hours change, you know, your family situation changes where you can't trade the same strategy, same style, maybe then shift. But I think, I'm completely agreeing with you. The dipping around from gold to oil to this to that, almost on a monthly, quarterly, weekly basis, just means you can't get a feel for what's going on. You don't feel for the moves. You just can't trade it effectively. I don't think anyway. All right, so
I'd probably just have a small point to add to that is, like you said, if you're going to move on to something else, maybe if you have a certain edge and you have experience in one kind of field, and maybe that can be expressed or applied to different areas. So say, something I'm testing out recently is trading indices a little bit, and it's quite a natural transition from stocks. It's not like I'm going from...
Well, it's like a basket of stocks, isn't it?
Yeah, so exactly. But, once you have an idea of what you are as a trader, your kind of niche, your certain set of skills, you might be able to find something quite similar, product-wise or market-wise, which you can just kind of transfer over. Of course, that'd be the kind of positive side of it. Of course, like you said, there might be negatives if there's change in marketability or market conditions or whatever. But,
No, yes, that's a good point actually. I think we didn't touch on that. Is once you get a style that works for you, then you can expand it into other markets. But you've become a specialist then with your style. So the style is the specialty, and then that starts to spread. You know, so you get a bit of a groove. And I know from my journey, my style was very much shorter term UK stocks, and then it spread into the futures, and then it spread and kind of evolved as the markets have changed.